they're not going to be able to hold the crypto prices down for much longer.
Because something is adding fuel to this move higher for the crypto markets, which continues to mirror this recovery from after the FTX crash at the end of 2022 that eventually led to a massive bull run for both Bitcoin and the altcoins. Meanwhile, right now, the bears are continuing to stack up shorts as the price moves higher. If these shorts get liquidated, then we can expect to see crypto prices melt up incredibly rapidly. How high can prices rally in the short term? And what is driving this move despite all of the negativity across the media and crypto market right now? Well, I'm going to tell you in this video. So do me a favor, hit the like button and let's see just how big this could be. Now guys, if you've been paying attention to the Bitcoin and altcoin prices over the last few days, as well as the media talking about war in the Middle East and how the oil prices have been surging, as well as failed negotiations to end the war, you're probably thinking something weird is going on. Why is Bitcoin now challenging a high that it hasn't seen in almost a month, and is attempting to break out of a pattern that it's been stuck in for nearly 2.5 months? Despite all of this negativity, and could the Bitcoin price really be about to mirror a breakout that we saw after the end of the FTX crash back in 2022 that eventually led to the Bitcoin price going from around $15,500 all the way up to $126,000 at the end of last year, never returning down to these prices again? And the move from that breakout within just a few days took the price up nearly 34%. A move like that for Bitcoin right now would take it back up to 100k. Now I talked about this in my last video, but it is incredibly similar right now, and there is a good chance that we do see a very similar move here for some of the reasons I'll tell you in just a moment. Now, after the FTX crash, we saw the Bitcoin price plunge all the way down to $15,500. It then bounced and then put in this low again. This left everyone absolutely terrified. The longer we spent in this area, people continued to get more and more terrified. The fear and greed index went lower and lower, just like it's been doing right now. We got this push higher at some point, but nobody thought it was going to go up. It then rolled over. It put in these higher lows while everybody out there was screaming that Bitcoin was going to go down to $8,000 or $9,000. Eventually, Bitcoin rolled over and then built up, rallying out of this breakout pattern. Now you can see up to present day Bitcoin, you can see that Bitcoin plunged all the way down on the 6th of February to just under $60,000. It then puts in this low, similar to how it did after FTX. It then rallies towards the upside, gets rejected, puts in a higher low or two here, and then it begins to rally. So could we possibly be about to see a breakout that looks like this that takes us back up to that previous line of resistance all the way up towards $99,000? Well, we need to understand a little bit more about why we're rallying right now, despite all of the negative media, all of the negative sentiment, and the fact that everybody out there is calling for lows. The best performing YouTube and Twitter channels right now are all focusing towards bearish content. Everybody wants the market to go lower. And this is where we see the keys to what is pushing this move and what can really cause a very rapid expansion over the next few days, few weeks into this particular zone up here. Now, first of all, I want you to think about what happens in and around this zone. We've been pushing a little bit higher, but market sentiment's been terrible. Everyone wants price lower. Because everybody wants price lower, it means one thing about those people. They have all sold the market. Obviously, if you thought the price was going much lower, you probably sold as well. So you want the prices to go down so that you can buy at lower prices. If the price moves up, that causes you pain and makes you angry because you probably sold in and around this zone and you want to be able to buy in cheaper, not more expensive. But if everybody has already sold, because obviously we've had an absolutely brutal few months where we had that massive liquidation event on the 10th of October, we then saw another liquidation event back in November. We then saw this huge liquidation event back in February the 5th. These liquidation events, by the way, were far bigger than any liquidation events that we saw at the end of the last bear market. Then you'll know that most people have either already sold somewhere up here because they called the top, or somewhere along here because they didn't call the top and they suddenly panicked, and then they probably definitely panicked down here because pretty much everyone who at least is human probably panicked in and around here. And if everybody has been selling already, it means they're already out the market. No one is left to sell. If no one's left to sell who wanted to sell, what can push the price lower? Meanwhile, if everyone's already sold off, then you will still get buyers. And if the buyers start to outweigh the sellers, then of course price will then begin to come up. Now, in the short term, that's not enough to really get the market going because yes, you've had had some good accumulation and whatever going on. But really, you're not going to see sentiment changing enough to encourage retail investors and everyone else to rush back in and start buying the market. Realistically, those people aren't going to want to come in and buy the market until Bitcoin is already well back above $100,000. So what can cause the opposite of this to take place somewhere around here, like after when FTX crashed? Well, it's literally the opposite of this. What causes this? It's all to do with leveraged traders being stacked up in the wrong direction. Now, right now, the fear and greed index remains in extreme fear. And because of that, it shows that sentiment is negative. But not just the sentiment is negative. You see, if you go across to this website, which is coinglass.com, you can see probably one of the most essential indicators in all of crypto. Everyone who's a trader across crypto has already seen this before. And if you haven't, you should be using this because it's going to make your trading much better. But it's basically showing you where everybody is moving their money. Everyone, when they're stacked long, shows green up here. When there's people going short, you can see it goes red here. Now, you can see every time the market has rallied historically until the highest point where we then come down for a time, you can see the spikes towards the upside are massive. Everybody tends to go massively long at the top of the market. You can see it happen here. It then happens again in December 2024. You can see it then happens again into kind of July time, and then we get a bit of a top, and then you can see more kind of green up here. As price comes down, you still see a lot of green coming in here. People thinking this is just going to be a bounce. That allows liquidations to happen on the downside. Now, what you can see right now is a lot more red coming in. And as we speak, as the price has been going up, a lot of short positions are stacking up against those longs. Now, this is the funding rate. It's basically telling you the aggregated score of who's long versus who's short right now. This is telling you right now that the shorts are massively outweighing the number of people going long. Now, this matters in a big way because of this. If you are a bear right now and you want the price to go down, you might open a short here. Now, this would be your stop loss, which effectively you might put under the previous swing high area somewhere around here. Maybe you move it up a little bit, whatever it is. Obviously, you want the price to come down here, which would obviously make you lots of money. But if you're wrong and the price goes back up here, your sell trade that you've probably done with like 10x leverage or whatever people use will get flipped into a buy trade for Bitcoin. So effectively, if you've gone $1,000 10x leverage to the downside, your $10,000 will get flipped and turned back into Bitcoin up here, okay? If you get liquidated, you get forced to buy Bitcoin no matter how bearish or uninterested you are in the market. And this is to the tune of billions and billions of dollars. Now, all of those short positions, some of them may have a stop loss all the way up here. But there could be very big traders who also, price might get to here, don't necessarily want to get liquidated and just decide, actually market's gone bullish, I want to get out. They close their leveraged shorts and those get flipped into longs, which is why when the price moves against the common belief in the market, like it did when it went here and everyone was going long, and it did here when everyone was going long, that we can see these cascading price moves like this. This is what caused this rally towards the upside. It's why after extreme greed or extreme fear events that you get in the market, you can often see massive rallies like this. Okay, typically price is always moving in and around these ranges. It causes sentiment, it causes hype and excitement to build up at the tops, it causes fear and worry to build up at the bottom, and everyone tends to stack up into leverage positions, usually in the wrong direction. And when those liquidations come in, then the price can cascade very quickly in the opposite direction. Right now, I believe that there is a reasonable case to suggest that there is a potential, if we move above here, to liquidate a lot of short positions, and that could push the Bitcoin price very quickly towards the upside. Just how far? And before we find out what is really driving it and why Bitcoin is going up, despite it being a midterm year and all of that, there are many reasons, by the way. Let's just look at this volume indicator. Now, this volume indicator basically shows you where most of the trading has happened at different periods of time. As you can see, over like a long period of time, the market has spent quite a lot of time in certain regions, like this region here, where the price of Bitcoin spent quite a lot of its life cycle over the last few years. And therefore, you can see that there's been a lot of trading in and around this range. Then what you can see is over the past kind of year or so, Bitcoin has spent its kind of life up in and around this zone, which is why you see a lot of trading volume here. Now, you'll notice that between that range at the top and this range down here is this white space in here. Now, this white space exists for one major reason. When the Bitcoin price initially went up through here, it didn't really spend very much time at all in and around this zone. It had never been up that high before, and then it basically spent very few times underneath here. In fact, it only kind of briefly dipped under here for a little bit before returning high. It then went down through this area very quickly. Now, what you will see is up to the next volume range, which probably sits under here, is a lot of white space. That white space can theoretically be filled very quickly if those shorts get liquidated. We could well see the Bitcoin price rallying up into and around that zone. Now, knowing when that might happen is difficult to know, but if the Bitcoin price does tip itself above 76k and hold above that level, there is a very, very good shout that Bitcoin will rally into and around $80,000 to $84,000. That could cause a lot of excitement to return to the market. It could suddenly flip a lot of liquidity back into the market. But ideally, what we want to see is price being able to hold at higher levels, but sentiment still remaining incredibly negative. Remember, every time the sentiment is negative, there is still people sidelined, ready to be convinced that they should get back into the market. There is still liquidity in the system. If everybody was screaming to buy right now, it wouldn't be a good time to buy. You get what I'm saying? Everyone's screaming to sell. It's usually the best time to be in the market at least. So there's more potential right now to get up into this space. And before I talk about some of the reasons behind why we are seeing this, despite what you're seeing across the media and the news right now, let's just jump across to see what I'm doing right now while these moves have been taking place. Now, not only have I been buying on spot, but I've also been positioning myself over on Yubit for some of these moves. Now, I bought into Bitcoin. As you can see, I've got a trade open here, currently a little bit of profit. I've got a trade on Ethereum, this one here on XRP. I've got a SUI trade open, an Aether trade open. I've got a Render trade open, currently sitting in a little bit of red. But in terms of the net move right now, I'm up. I do anticipate that if Bitcoin is to rally up into the 84k zone, that we are going to see a substantial move across the markets. Now, I've been trading on Yubit because it gives me access to not only the crypto markets, but it also allows me to trade things like oil, gold, as well as stocks. The stock market's been rallying like crazy. There's some incredible opportunities if you are an active trader to be able to get into those, or if you just want to buy on spot to diversify away from crypto. If you want to be able to get a bonus and use a platform like this, then make sure you sign up through my link below for Yubit so that you can make the most of this opportunity. There's a bonus available on it right now that won't be around for long, so make sure you sign up ASAP. Now then, what on earth is going on in the media? What is going on across the markets? Well, I think we need to focus on a few things. It's obviously been very difficult over the past few weeks to ignore what has been going on in the Middle East. We've seen the war in Iran seemingly escalate between Israel. We've seen the United States playing a big part and other areas in the region getting involved as well. Obviously, this has been massive, whether you live in those regions or not, because it has had a very big impact on the oil price. And that's because of this. This is the Strait of Hormuz, which is an area just off of the Persian Gulf. Now, a lot of the world's oil travels through this little bit of passage here. Now, over the last couple of weeks, we've had Iran, which is this country here, saying that oil won't be allowed to exit from this strait. Now, surging oil prices create high inflation, cause risk-off conditions, cause lots of panic. And that's what we've seen happen across the media recently. Now, there was a ceasefire, and then there was going to be negotiations, which led to kind of good conditions coming in for the market. And then all of a sudden, then the US came in and said that they were also going to blockade this particular piece of water, leading to mass confusion of what's really going on. But interestingly, all at a time, well, a lot of different oil vessels are now passing in and out of this particular area, which is the Gulf of Mexico, just off the United States. Pretty interesting that during a period of time that the world's oil supply has been constricted, that the United States, one of the world's biggest oil nations, has seemingly seen a massive increase in the amount of oil tankers going in and out. It's all starting to make a lot more sense as to what the game has been in the Middle East. Now, whether or not we start to see normal functionality happening in the Middle East, etc., and what's going on in the media, I think you're probably aware by now that you and I shouldn't be trying to play those games and trying to figure out what's really happening, because it's incredibly complicated and no one really deep down knows what's happening. But there are a lot of very smart people in the world who know what's going on. And those people are working for banks, institutions, etc. And they're making trades that tell us whether or not we should be panicked or whether we should be a little bit more confident. And here's why it pays to be confident despite all of the fear and worry across the markets, because sometimes if you can read the right signals, then you can identify the best opportunities to enter when it feels like a very bad time to enter. Now this here is the Bitcoin price versus volatility index, which was an idea given to me by the guys at Crypto Unplugged. Now this is basically Bitcoin price versus the VIX, which is the volatility index of the S&P 500. Every time you see a big scary news event in the world, you see the volatility index spike towards the upside. Now you can see that Bitcoin very conveniently tracks along this line. This was the August 5th low for 2024, Japan carry trade. We then saw the tariff announcement on the first week of April back last year, and then we see the Iran war, all bouncing off of this trend line rather conveniently. And you can see the Bitcoin price now spiking against the VIX. Are we about to run it up and see another high like this? I personally believe that we are. And here's why. Yes, the oil price still remains pretty high, but considering all of the doom and gloom and how all the world's apparently going to run out of oil and how this is a delayed fuse, because obviously it takes most oil tankers 30 to 60 days to arrive in most countries, and that hasn't even hit yet. You know, the oil price seemingly is kind of going down. And yes, it's run into resistance. It's still sitting a little bit high, but eventually this will start to continue lower. And this is why the Russell 2000 or small cap stocks in the United States, which typically are only suitable to be investing in when the markets are risk on, which is by the way when crypto does well, is approaching again all-time highs. We are expecting to see all-time highs hit by the end of this week. The S&P 500 again is approaching all-time highs. This isn't telling you that people are worried about the risk of what's going on in the Middle East. It tells you that the banks and institutions are going towards risk. They're continuing to bet that there isn't going to be a recession and that times are getting good. You can see the high risk, high yield growth corporate bonds, HYG, versus the low risk government bonds, IEF, going up. Okay, so this is showing you that risk on conditions are prevailing. We are seeing more risk on conditions coming about. And that's because the US Federal Reserve balance sheet is increasing right now. The ISM manufacturing index remains above 50, and that's why copper is spiking against gold, which has typically led to very strong conditions in crypto, particularly for altcoins. Now, we haven't seen this going strongly up for a sustained period of time since back in 2021. You can see that it's bounced off at the bottom of this trend line. And by the way, every single time we've seen one of these happen in the past, eventually it led to very good performance for Bitcoin and of course altcoins. Now remember, your conviction in crypto is incredibly important because your conviction shouldn't be linked to the price moves. If you're going to be bullish or bearish based on price moving up or down, you're already going to be too late by the time you decide to get out or enter into the market. Ultimately, the best times to buy in the past have always been when the market is looking incredibly bearish and getting worse and worse. Likewise, the best times to sell are when the market's looking incredibly bullish and we should be starting to think about getting out. Now, in my experience, the best thing for you to do is to really build conviction, whether or not the price is going up or down on any given day. If you think that Bitcoin is good value at $74,000, even if it was going to be able to go a little bit lower, because you think in the future it's going to be much higher, then in my opinion, that's where I start to DCA in. Because 99% of people out there are never able to pick the absolute low and are never able to pick the absolute top. So why would this time be any different? Your only job is to simply buy lows and try to sell high. Right now, Bitcoin sentiment and the market is the lowest it's been for quite some time. We've seen some of the worst, most negative news, and the Bitcoin price has stuck in and around here. The others versus Bitcoin chart, which is the altcoins versus Bitcoin, continues to range in and around these lows. Every time we've seen this happen since 2018, effectively it has meant there is a good entry point for solid altcoins. Now, I'll probably make a video in the next couple of days about different altcoins that I think are still going to see some very good strength. I'm also going to give you a bit of a tutorial on how to identify some of those better projects so that you can start to see some good growth by getting in nice and early to the right projects. And right now is still relatively early for a lot of altcoins, even if it's not the absolute bottom of Bitcoin, which I believe happened just a few weeks ago. Now, guys, do me a favor, if you got this far through, hit the like button and leave a comment down below. Always appreciate it. Hope you have a great week. Let me know, are we about to break significantly higher for the Bitcoin price, or are we destined to see another pullback in your eyes? Hope you have a great day. See you soon. Bye-bye.